Hello, my name is Emily Cox, and I'm proud to teach Spanish and German at Cathedral City High School. I've worked at Cathedral City High School for 4 years, and today I'll be explaining our upcoming language immersion tour through Madrid and Barcelona. This tour will be chaperoned by myself and Maria Vasquez, another Spanish teacher at our school. This presentation will cover why travel is important, where we're going and what we'll be doing, our travel partner, the educational organization we're traveling with. We'll talk about safety, which will remain our top priority throughout the trip. We'll discuss what's included and what students are responsible for, and finally, how to reserve your spot. So, why travel? I have such a passion for language and travel, and I am so excited to share that with my students. I was actually born and raised in Europe, and I've had the opportunity to travel to over 20 countries, from Asia to South America and all over Europe. I also lived in Peru for 2 years, which gave me the chance to not only improve my Spanish, but to experience the food, the culture, the history, the customs, the people. And this is the single best way to gain an appreciation for language and culture. Travel to the country. This unique 9-day tour I've selected will be taking us to Madrid and Barcelona with a stop in Toledo. We'll be traveling over spring break 2017, next April, so students will not be missing any school. Here is a detailed itinerary of our tour. This is not your typical sightseeing tour. Students will actually be attending language classes at an international language school in Madrid and Barcelona. And as you can see, each day has a cultural theme, allowing students to practice their language and to gain an appreciation for Spanish language and culture. Students will have the opportunity to visit world-famous places like the Prado Museum in Madrid and the Sagrada Familia in Barcelona. On day 4, for example, students will participate in a cooking class led by a local Spanish chef. On day 5, they will experience a live flamenco show. On day 7, they will even get the unique opportunity to have dinner at the home of a local family. And this is why Mrs. Vasquez and I chose this tour, because of all these unique, authentic experiences students will have to practice their language and interact with locals, and through this, to experience hands-on the people and the culture of Spain. So to give you an example, here's day 4. Students will begin with a morning language lesson in which they will review and practice food-related vocabulary. In the afternoon, they will interact with local vendors during the market challenge at the Central Produce Market. And in the evening, students will participate in a cooking class led by a local Spanish chef. I actually had the opportunity to go to a teacher training in Madrid and experience this day as students will. So I can tell you how much fun it was and how valuable this experience will be for your child. And even though students will have some free time to explore, each day is very structured and contains valuable hands-on activities during which students are supervised by both chaperones and our local language program director, who will be with us every step of the way. I'd like to share with you now some highlights from post-tour surveys. I believe in the value and quality of this tour, and every single student who participates in this tour says that their confidence improved. 90% of students said that their speaking and listening skills in their target language improved. Again, 90% of students said that this experience helped prepare them for the next level of Spanish language courses. So if your child is planning on continuing on, it'll give them that inspiration, that motivation to continue. And 75% of students said that because of this experience alone, they are more likely to continue studying Spanish. And for me, I think that a trip like this ignites a lifelong passion for travel, which honestly is the most important thing that students gain from this. So why EF? EF, which stands for Education First, is the educational organization we're traveling with. They are a top organization with 50 years of experience in international education and travel. They have over 500 schools and offices in over 53 countries, including Spain. They are accredited, and there will be the opportunity for students to receive high school and college credit through this program. And finally, like I've said, this is truly an incredible once-in-a-lifetime experience for students. And because of EF's experience and connections around the world, They are an organization that is able to guarantee us the lowest price for what we get on this tour. I've worked with EF before, and I can tell you that of all the travel companies I've seen, this one is by far the best. So let's talk about safety. I completely understand that as a parent, you're feeling a bit nervous or even frightened to let your student travel abroad. I am here to reassure you that as a highly experienced traveler and someone who has your child's safety as my top priority, this is an extremely safe tour. Students are supervised at all times by both Mrs. Vasquez and myself, as well as our language program director, who will be with us all day, every day. EF also offers 24-hour emergency on-call service, so parents can communicate easily with the organization and their child. EF's peace of mind policy also ensures that our group will never travel to an unsafe area. So, in the event of any social or political unrest, our group will be rerouted to another place free of charge. Safety will remain our top priority on tour, so you can have that peace of mind and know that your children are having the time of their lives in a very safe environment. On this tour, we will be receiving a variety of top quality services. Students will be responsible for spending money and tips. So any souvenirs or additional free time activities, lunches, we suggest that students budget for $20 to $35 a day. This totally depends on how much they want to spend. You can get a cheap lunch for $5 or enjoy a sit-down one for $20. We will also need to tip our tour guide and bus drivers, which totals only about $5 to $8 per day. Regarding passports, students must have a U.S. passport, and it must be valid at least 6 months after our return date. Passports may take up to 14 weeks to process, so if your child does not have one yet, that's something to begin as soon as possible. So here is everything we get on this amazing tour. Round-trip flights on major carriers, hotels with private bathrooms, breakfast and dinner daily, a comfortable motor coach. We will be taking the high-speed AVE train to Barcelona. We have a full-time language immersion program director. We have sightseeing led by expert local guides. Our entrance fees are covered and we get a front-of-the-line pass so we never have to wait. We get the daily interactive language courses and the WeShare, which is EF's online platform for a deeper learning experience, which is the way that students will be able to receive high school and college credit. Now, I've traveled a lot and I know how much things cost, and I think this is an excellent value. What I like most is that instead of paying everything up front, you have the option to pay month to month, which makes this tour very affordable. Your monthly payments are $287 or $950 a day. Again, for what we're getting, the flights, the hotel, the meals, the transportation, all of our entrance fees, the unique language courses, and all those other really authentic, culturally immersive experiences, that makes for a really, really good value. So, how do you reserve your spot? It's easy. Just sign up online or call EF. There are only 19 spots, and they're filling up fast. The deadline is next Friday, March 4th, and if you have any questions or concerns, please don't hesitate to contact me. I've provided my contact info in the email I sent you that contained this link. I'd also like to remind you to view the other video I sent that gives you a look into Madrid and the language school students will be attending. It is in Spanish, so make sure to activate the closed captions for English subtitles. I am so excited for this tour. I've done a lot of research, and I'm convinced this is such a beneficial tour for our students. I believe travel makes us better people. It inspires us, teaches us, builds our confidence, and above all, it's fun. It's an adventure, and I cannot wait to share this adventure with my students.